Hey friends, thanks so much for joining me today. We are going to look at how to sharpen a chisel with a stone. All right, friend, so there are all kinds of setups, all kinds of jigs that you can get that position your chisel exactly where it's supposed to be, to where you can sharpen it, and there's multiple different stones you can get. This channel exists to help the new person, the beginner. It's meant to help those that are just getting started with working with their hands. So you may have a chisel and you may have a sharpening stone, but that might be all you have. So this is how I sharpen a chisel with just one stone. Now this stone, as you can see, has a fine and a more coarse. So if your chisel is pretty dull, I usually start on the coarse side, then move over to the finer side. What you need to make sure of is you don't use only one part of that stone. It's kind of hard to see, but people have used this stone just in the center, and so they wear a groove. Don't do that because it reduces the life of your stone, making it less productive. What I like to do is to take it at an angle, not straight on, but at an angle, and then I like to work the whole stone. Now, so it's going to be kind of hard to sharpen this big one, but it really needs it. It's pretty dull. So what I do is I first get my stone, and then I get some water or oil. I like water because then you don't have to worry about the oil. You just wipe it off after a bit. So don't spit on it. Get some water, put it on your stone. Now that you have your stone with liquid on it, now that's wet, getting the angle is super important. So the way I teach students to do this is to try to get it flat on that bevel. You get that bevel flat. So what I do is I'll take my two fingers and I'll start it up where it's not flat, and then I'll bring it down, and then you can kind of feel where it is flat. It's not just pivoting on that tip, and that's where you want to stay. You want to stay at that bevel for sharpening the chisel. It's easier to do on a big chisel like that. It's easier to feel where it's sharp. It's hard to do with this, but you can still do it. And you can come down here and look, and then try to keep that same angle. Try not to be moving this up and down. Try to keep that same angle so you're sharpening that actual bevel. Now, like we said, there's jigs you can get for this that keep that bevel the same. That's more advanced. This is for the new person, the beginner, just to be able to sharpen their chisel and to keep woodworking. So remember, start with your tip up, bring it down. You'll feel when it gets flat, and you can see it too. You can see when that gets flat. You can kind of see where it's got air between it, gap, and then you're flat. That's where you want to go back and forth at. So I'm gonna get my angle flat on here, and then I'm gonna just work it back and forth. You can see how it's been worked in here. You can see how it's getting worked there. So this thing, it's gonna take a lot of work, and I'm not gonna sharpen this whole thing in the video, but I'll just show you how I do it, and then I'll go back and do it on my own time when I have the time. And you don't want to watch 30 minutes of me sharpening a chisel. But after I've sharpened the bevel side, I always want to finish with the flat side, taking it, laying it flat, and just doing a little bit. What happens is that metal tends to roll over that edge just ever so slightly, just really small. And so then that takes that little rollover edge off, and leaves a nice, crisp, sharp point for your bevel. Now this isn't professional grade. We aren't like taking hundreds of chisels and doing this over and over and over and paying or getting paid to do this. There's jigs and there's all sorts of stuff for that. We are just trying to get a nice sharp edge back on our chisel so we can continue to do woodworking. So you can see these probably need it. These, you know, it gets to where you can feel how dull it is. So go ahead, mimic your angle, get water on there, go back and forth. Remember to hit the flat side when you're done. So hey, thanks so much for watching, folks. Thanks for the view. Remember to work hard because hard work is its own reward, and take care of your tools because that's how we make our money in the industrial tech world. Thanks for watching.